Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Gundam video. Today, I have an exciting one. We have a deck theory profile on the G fighter that is coming out at the end of July. This is G Gundam Mobile Fighters, the MF deck that a lot of people have been making fun of with the MF. One of my favorite series, top favorite series with 00, so I'm so happy to be able to play with two of my favorite series. As you know, you probably watch the channel, you know I play a lot of CB decks. Now this is going to be one of my mains with my CB deck. Those are my two favorite ones. After that would be Wing as my favorite series ever. And I'm a huge fan. I'm super excited. Like you guys can't see my desk, but like I got hyper mode Bolt chilling right here. I have, let me not mess them up, I have my real grade shining here, and I put it on that the horse that when it's mounted so you can go up to space. I have that right there that's being used with shining. Let me make sure it doesn't tip. Like I got hyper mode dragon here. I got not real great. I have a rising Gundam here. I got Canada. I got Neo Italy. I have Master, and then let me not mess up a little bit, and because he's on a little stool right now, and it is real grade Burning Gundam. So super excited for this. Again, my favorite series is definitely G. After that is 00. I'm super excited. One thing I am gonna keep an eye out. Maybe people can let me know in the comments down below, or if they find it in their stores. But again, my second favorite series is 00, and I was fortunate enough that someone was able to find a jumbo Trans Am. So I'll be looking to see if there is a G Fighter one. It'd be pretty cool to see if I can find a G1 out there. So I can add it and we can eventually put it into the room and be able to have it set up with both of them, my two favorite series. So I can't wait for that to come out. If anyone finds it, let me know. That's just one of the cars I would like to have the poster of as well. Now, with that being said, let's get into this deck profile. Again, this is theory crafting. As of recording this video, it is the 6th of July. Trying to pop up a lot of videos for the rest of the week. And we don't have the reveal of Argo, nor do we have both Gundam. So right now, this is without that and any other final reveals that we're going to get at the end of the week, Friday. So with that being said, let's go ahead and show this deck profile. So I am running the 2-1 Shining. It is a 2-2 just to have a body on the field. You can use it with the Shining Finger to give it a first strike. We'll go over every card, don't worry. But you can use it with Shining Finger if you needed to get the first strike onto there. But again, just a 2-1. I just saw that they might be potentially touching a ban list, limited list. We'll see if that changes anything. And if we can go more mid-game, maybe I will take out the Shining Gundam. We'll see how that goes though. But it is good to have a card early on so you can exile if you need to, because you would need to use it for Shining Gundam. So I'm using 4 of those. I'm using right now 2 Rose Gundams because it's a 3-2 for 3-3 stat line. One thing that kind of sucks a little bit is we don't really have generic MF trait units. I know it might be tough, but there are some units that you can potentially from this series put. There's some generic units, and if you don't put Neo Italy or anything like that into it, and they don't have his own pilot, you can make that a MF trait unit itself. But hopefully we eventually get some, especially as we get into GD06 and 7 for sure. So 2 of these is 3-3. During link, attack, activate the main on card paired with this unit. Obviously, the deck is really focusing on the command / the command pilot, so you're able to use it. So everyone has so far been besides the 2 main, Master and Domo, has been a command / command pilot. So for you to get that link, you would have to use Rose Screamer. So just talking about Rose Screamer, I have that at 2 as well. What it does allows you to do is choose one of your MF units with 4 or less AP. It gets +2 during this turn. After activating this card's main, you may pair this with one of your from your trash for one of your MF units. So this is a great way to buff, and then you can then put it onto another unit if you wanted to. Great buffer. Right now, for some reason on EX Burst, you cannot, you can't get the base out, but the base Let me see if I can pull that base up last second. Boop. We're gonna go GD05. For some reason, we cannot get the base to show up and play on any other servers. So we're going to head and put it here. But the base, what this base allows you to do is if you have an MF link in play, you can target one of your friendly units, which includes not just the link unit, but another unit, and you can get +2 AP on that unit. So it kind of does what this does a little bit as well, which is why I dropped this down to 2, and eventually it can go down to 1. But you kind of want it unless Argo's really strong, and I think honestly Argo could be really strong. You probably were going to add it in here, and if it is so, we'll see what level and it does versus command. We might take out this altogether, but overall right now Rose Creamer and Rose, it's a decent 3-3. Move on. Next, one of my favorite of the other non-main units is actually Maxter. The way they did Maxter is super solid. It's a 3-2-3-2, and it has an effect by itself without needing any pilot. That's very important. I love units that are like that. During your turn, when the unit destroys enemy unit by battle, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal one special move command, add it to your hand, and the rest goes to the bottom of the deck. Really do enjoy this. I like that you can search. It's not like search 1 or 2, top 2 cards of the deck and see if there's no. Search 4. That gives you a really good shot at picking up a command and not worrying about it. Yes, you can dump your pilots in there, so you have to keep that in mind. But overall, I think to be able to search and help thin your deck out, not thin your deck, but to filter through your deck to find stuff you might need coming up, really, really amazing card. And then you have its command right here, Cyclone Punch, with the pilot as well. You have Crockett here. It's a 1-1. Again, it's a 3-1. So technically on turn 3, if you're going first, you can activate this, which is really nice. During your turn, not during your turn, main phase, choose one of your enemy units. It gets -2 AP during this turn. After activating the main, you can then put it onto one of your MFs from your trash. So obviously what you do is you can target one of their units with a command, then it's in the grave. You can then link it onto this unit. Swing, you can then use this effect to activate it again, and now it pretty much becomes AP -4, which is really good as well. You can beat up a Gundam and still survive, which is crazy. I think this card is actually really, really good. The fact that you can filter through your deck is also what I think is really awesome. Next, you have the main unit is Shining Gundam. It is a 4-3-3-4 stat line with the link for Domukashu, and we'll go ahead and show that in a second. Deployed, you may choose 2 of your MF units in your trash, exile them, and if you do, choose one special move command and add it to your hand. So this is a great way to filter through the graveyard to get back something, but you have to get rid of your units, which is why, again, I don't mind getting rid of and having this, because then by the time I have this, I probably will have 2 and I'll be able to filter through that as well. Now, I like units that have their own effect without needing the pilot. This has an effect, attack once per turn, choose one of your rested resources and set it as active. I've been playing this deck on Wing's table before Master Gundam was out, and I was putting G-Quux in there. There was a time where I was able to get most of my resources because I had 3 Shinings out, and I was able to get my resource back to 7 on a turn 8 and drop G-Quux. It was insane, but the fact that you can get your rested unit, rested resource back, that can also be very helpful when you're trying to figure out your plays. You can kind of do the attack and then make sure you get that extra resource to potentially, squeeze something else in during that turn. Now let's look at the pilot. You have Domukashu. 2-1 is a 4-1 level cost, 2-1 stat line. Win paired, very important, win paired. Draw 1, then discard 1. If you discarded a special move command, you can activate it as a main. So what's really good is if you draw, let's say you already have a couple commands in your hand and you drew a unit, you can go ahead and drop the command and activate the command to be able to put that command on a unit to be able to go ahead and link and get that going on as well. So there is some plays with this, being able to also, again, draw 1, discard 1, filter through the deck. It also allows you to dump either commands in the graveyard or units in the graveyard if you need to, just so that you can, if you have another Shining next turn, you can maybe exile 2 more units and get that going next turn. As you get later on, you're going to want commands in the graveyard. So that's all plays a factor in how you want to set up, and Domo would set that up for you. Really solid overall. Not to jump crazy too much, but you do have Shining Finger, which is a command, which we're also running at 4. It's a burst added to your hand. Very important. Main action, choose one enemy unit with 4 or less HP and rest it. Very important. You can activate this just because, and it can rest one of their Gundams lift riff if you need, or a flat. Really solid. I've had at times been able to ping with Darkness Finger, ping something for 2, bring it down to 4, and then rested, and then go ahead and swing and get first strike. Because if you don't know, the second part of this is then you can choose one of your units with Shining Gundam in his name, and he gets first strike during this turn. So yes, you can get first strike on your 2-1, you can get first strike on your 4-3, and you also get first strike on the 6-5 that we just released today as well. So you have all, not yes, it released yesterday. You have all those you can technically get first strike with, which is really solid. Obviously, they potentially can give us more. I don't think we're going to get into the Shining for the rest of this GD05 set, but maybe in GD06 we'll get True Super Mode, which is when he's all gold potentially and gone Super Saiyan. So pretty much maybe we might be able to get that next set, and before we get into the Tournament of Power. Pretty much the Tournament of the Nations to see who's best. So next, this card again is an action card. You can use it to do an action if you wanted to. Can be very helpful, or you can use it before action, so that can just set yourself up. Next we have Dragon Gundam, one of my favorite looking Gundam for sure, with the dragon in the hands. It is a 5-3-4-4 stat line with Saisachi as the link. Once per turn, again, I love cards that don't need effects by, with the pilot. When this unit destroys an enemy shield area card with damage, choose one enemy with 3 or less AP and deal 2 damage. So you can ping something down, which is really nice if they have 3 or less AP. So if they have a blocker, you can ping it for 2, which again, really nice. You can ping it. And then during link, you can activate an attack and use a command. The link here specifically, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but that is his signature move. For Dragon, you do have a different stat line here. You have Saisachi with being a 2-0, so keep that in mind. It would be a 6-0, so you don't get any buffs. So if you attack something that has 4 AP, like a Rozelle or something in that line, you will destroy yourself. So keep that in mind when it comes to using it. But what does this give you? On main, you use this, you can choose one of your MF units without breach. It gains breach 3 during this turn, and then obviously if it's in the grave, you can activate it and put it onto a unit if you need it to. So you go ahead and put it on here. So the play would be whatever you had on the field already, you activate it. That unit would get breach, and then you would then put that onto Dragon. Dragon will attack, and then that would get breach, which will in turn give you the effect of hitting an enemy shield area. If you hit a shield area, you will do and you destroy it like a base or a shield, you can then ping for 2. So super solid, gives your units breach. I do find that breach could be a little bit more important than the plus 2 AP because we have the base here. So that's probably what I would cut for sure. But again, we don't know what Argo is going to be for right now. Next we have Fat Master here. It is a 6-4-4-4 stat line with the link trait for Master Asia, which we will talk about in a little bit. When paired, you may choose one of your other active MF units, rest it. If you do, deal 2 damage to all enemy units whose level is equal to that or lower. So this is a great way. This is like throwing irons. You can rest it and then blow up and do 2 damage to everything. Overall, really solid. It does go based off the level of the unit that you rest. So if you rest a 5 from the turn before, you activate this, rest this unit, hit everything for 2, that's 5 or lower. So it can work out, but this also has a higher limit than throwing irons. Here you can go ahead and rest a 7 And then with that, hit everything for 7 or lower for 2 damage. So that can play a factor into how you want to do it as well. But keep in mind, it is when paired. So if you have these commands and you don't want to put master on that, but you want to put master on another unit, you can if you want to. But just keep that in mind. It is a when paired, so you don't have to have it with master, but you do need it for the link. We'll go over Master Asia in a second. We have Shining Gundam Super Mode. This is very interesting. Is when you activate a special move command, main, or action, this unit gains suppression during this turn. During link attack, gets 2+ AP on that. So what does that give you? That would make it a 6. No, that will be 8/6. A very, very strong unit on attack. Has good stat lines. But what I like about it is that if you activate a command, one of the special move commands, then you gain suppression. So it kind of sucks that it doesn't innately have it, but you could also play some mind games with your opponent as well, because it says action step, so you can activate something else on your action. So if you don't know how the listing works, if you swing, all attack effects goes off, then your opponent choose a blocker. If they don't choose blocker, all right, perfect. Now you go into action step. So by you swinging and you haven't activated a command yet, they might let it go through, and if it does go through, then you can activate Darkness Finger or Shining Finger, and then you get the suppression off, which can be really nice. So you can get this after the blocker step when they don't really know if you're going to get suppression or not. So overall, this can be a really good mind game. Again, 8/6 is not something to cough at. I kind of wish it was a little bit stronger, but it is an R, so we'll see how it goes. Like I said, we're probably going to get more probably in GD06. So this overall, as a good entry point for the MF, the G deck, I think this is really solid, awesome. Next, we have Master Gundam 7555 stat line. It's a beefy unit. And then it has a link for obviously Master Asia. Attack effect, you may choose 2 special move command from your trash, exile them from the game, and if you do, deal 5 damage to the first card of your opponent's shield area. This is amazing. So you can destroy a base and then swing. So that's also really good. You can somewhat have like a suppression built into it, technically, on attack. If there's just shields, on attack, you go ahead and activate and you banish 2, exile 2 of your special move commands, hit a shield area, and then you in turn hit a shield area, so you can kind of get 2 shields. So it has some weird play when it comes to it, but it's also really solid. Again, breaking that base and then letting your little weenies get into it as well. And this is on attack, so they can't really stop the actual effect just yet. So I think that's really awesome that you can do that and just break their base. Again, 6 HP, they'll still have 1 HP, so just keep that in mind, how you want to move things around. But it's just something you can keep that in head. Next, what else did we didn't talk about? Master Asia, here we go. It's a 6/1, and this is our first LR pilot, which is super important. Burst, you can add it to your hand, or if there are 3 or more MF cards in your trash, you may deploy it as a 3/3 unit. Now, unfortunately, there's no linkage to it. That pilot that's coming out, it doesn't have a link, so you can't link a Master Asia to a Master Asia. You could pair it, but there's no link. It's very important because you don't get the effect that he has as a link. And now, during link, on attack specifically, if you activated a special command, a special move command, main or action, during this turn, you may choose 1 enemy unit and do 2 damage to it. So what's really solid about this is you can also use Darkness Finger, which if I pull up Darkness Finger, for some reason, it doesn't have it set up. So let's pull up Darkness Finger. But with Darkness Finger, let me pull that up. Let's go to the Gundam website. There we go. You have here Darkness Finger here. Choose 1 of your enemy units. Deal 2 damage to it. Then, if you have Master Gundam in his card name in play, draw 1. So you can draw 1 when you have this. A little pseudo draw at the end. But what's really nice is that it's a deal 2 damage, which is, again, solid because it's pretty much like close combat for one cost. So it's also really nice. On top of that, if you activated this, you can do 2 more damage to a unit because you activated a command. So there is some nice pseudo plays when it comes to it. I think you can do potentially as well. But overall, it is a 2-2 stat line. So you can put that onto master and become 7-7, which is really, really strong. And Shining just beats it. I think we talked about everything besides the base, and I'll bring up the base so you guys can see the base as well. Just in case no one's seen the base, we'll pull up the base here. Here's the base, 3-1, 5 HP. Rest is base. If a friendly MF link is in play, choose one friendly unit. It gets AP 2 during this turn. So that's what I was talking about when it comes to Rose Screamer. Rose Screamer does give you +2 on a unit that's 4 AP or less. This will give you, no matter what, 2 AP as long as you have a link out in play. Just rest it and you're good to go. So that's something to keep in mind when it comes to it. If you need to beat over a Neo Zeon and you have the base out with this and this, Shining Finger is a lot to go on, but you can definitely destroy it because now you go from 8 to 10. So you can do some funny plays. Again, this is just a first theory crafting of the G Fighter deck, something that I'm excited to play and I can't wait to play. I know a lot of people around me also are very excited to play it. If you know me, I don't care about meta too much. I just play what I want to play. I play CBs for the last like 2 sets, or the last 2 sets. I've been playing CBs nonstop. I just took a pause off of it because I literally been like playing it too much, and haven't been to locals in a little bit. But with the new CB stuff and the new G Fighter stuff, I'm gonna be very busy playing, cards that I personally like to play, even if they're not the greatest. I do think that this has a potential to be a very strong deck, and with the potential ban limitless maybe being in effect, can make this deck shine out a little bit as well. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, if we get more, which I know we're going to get Argo and we're going to get Bolt, and if we get any more after that, we'll definitely discuss it and update our list as well. And we'll probably do another video probably the week after or so, just showing up the updated list one more time. Maybe we'll see how that goes. But excited. Again, my 2 favorite series in Gundam. 3 if you include Wing, and now we're getting Endless Waltz as well. All 3 of them are my favorite series, and I just need to somehow get a jumbo card of Shining or Burning or whatever. Preferably Burning, but if I don't think they're gonna give us Burning, I'll take Shining as well. Again, super solid. So that's pretty much it. Let me know down in the comments down below. What do you think about this deck? What do you think you would change? And obviously when Argo comes out, you can mention in the comments down below. But will you guys be playing this deck even if it's not meta? Because that's one of the important things that a lot of times the first time a deck comes out, an archetype, it's not going to be really meta, but as more sets come out, they become very strong. I do think that this has some play to go with it. It's just you have to learn the ratios with the commands, the pilots, and the units. You do need 3 things to make that go off. Typically you just need a unit and a pilot. Now you need 3. You need a unit, pilot, and command. So we got to figure out a balance and how that works out. But that's pretty much it. Let me know down in the comments down below what you think about it. I'll see you guys in our next video. Peace.